Hi there, my darling Capricorns. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to your reading for the week of July the 21st, 2025. So, my darling Capricorns, we're going to start off with uh, two oracle cards that we'll start off with. So, we've got one Wombat Spirit and Be at Home. And then we have, New Moon in Leo, Shine, Love It. So, two beautiful oracle cards to start your reading, my darling Capricorn. So I feel like this shine one is just like the sun, really. You're being encouraged, my darling Capricorn, to shine like the sun. And this wombat spirit with Be at Home, I feel that maybe home is where the heart is what they say. So let us consult the tarot and see what messages we've got coming in for you, my darling Capricorns. What does Capricorn need to know for the week of July the 21st? All the readings I've done so far have been very positive. Even though this week we are in Mercury retrograde, all the readings have been really positive, so that's good. Six of Wands, and yours is no different. Eight of Swords, need to get out of your head. Love it. Three of Cups, love, love, love. So definitely going to be shining this week, my darling Capricorns. All right, just make sure they're all in view. So what I'm going to do is give you the meaning of each of the cards, and then I'm going to intuitively put the reading together. So you start off with the beautiful Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is all about being celebrated. It's about you having a victory here. You can see she's got the victory wreath, and all these people here are celebrating her. So the story of the Six of Wands is that this person here has come back from war, and they've come back from war victorious. So, I feel for you this week. This is a week where you're going to feel victorious. You're going to feel celebrated, my darling Capricorns, which is beautiful. And I feel that you're going to want to celebrate, if that makes sense, my darling Capricorns. But I kind of feel that, with that be at home wombat spirit, that you don't want to go out, but you want to celebrate at home with those that, are your tribe, is sort of what's popped into my head there, my darling Capricorn. So yeah, take that how it resonates, but that's what I feel for you. Then you've got the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is a card of self-imposed restriction. You can see she's got a blindfold on here, but she's got her hand up to that blindfold, and she could easily remove that blindfold and move away from, take those bindings off and remove away from those swords. But she's choosing to keep that blindfold on. And blindfolds in the tarot represent, needing to trust your intuition, but also they represent what you don't want to see, my darling Capricorns. So I feel for you off this Eight of Swords that there's something that you don't want to see, that you feel that, that something doesn't feel right for you is what's popping into my head here. But this is your self-imposed restriction. Just remember that, my darling Capricorns, that this isn't an illusion, my darling Capricorns. This isn't real. This is your self-imposed restriction. Like I said, she could easily take the blindfold off, take the bindings off, and step. The water here represents the flow. You need to step out of this self-imposed restriction, my darling Capricorns, and into the beautiful flow of life here. Release these. The swords, I feel, represent doubts in your mind, my darling Capricorns, and you need to release those doubts because they're holding you back here, my darling Capricorns. That's just what I feel here. Because if you can just release those niggling self-doubt, self-imposed restriction, self-sabotage, Release all that. If you've got this beautiful Three of Cups energy, this is celebration. This is joy, my darling Capricorns. This is you celebrating, as I said before, with your tribe at home. You know, in the traditional tarot, they're celebrating a harvest here, these women. And this is also a card of an engagement. So you may hear of an engagement, or you may be getting engaged. And if you are, congratulations, that's amazing. And maybe that's, you know, what is holding you back here. Maybe you're having doubts about a relationship. I don't know, I'm just, you know, spitballing here. You know, maybe you're having, you know, I'm reading for a lot of you, so there's a few scenarios that this could be, but maybe you're having doubts about a relationship and you're just not sure whether, that's what that Eight of Swords is, whether it's right for you. But, I mean, all the signs here that I'm getting point to yes, my darling Capricorns. So if you were wondering about whether to say yes to a proposal, yes is what I feel off this reading. You know, if you wanted a yes answer, if the answer, I just feel the answer to your question is yes, my darling Capricorns. And like I said, you know, these people here, they're her tribe, they're your tribe. You want to be at home with those that matter to you, and you want to celebrate at home with those that matter to you, my darling Capricorn. That's the energy I'm getting off the Three of Cups. So if I'm going to put it all together, you know, you're being encouraged, you know, you've got that be at home and you've got shine. You know, you are being encouraged to put behind you what isn't working, or put behind you any doubts, fears, worries, my darling Capricorn, because when you do, you've got two cards here of celebration. You've got, you know, this Six of Wands where you will be celebrated, and then you've got the Three of Cups where you will be celebrating. So, you know, I love that for you. And that's, you know, what I feel is if you can just release the self-doubt, the self, you know, imposed restriction, the niggling, you know, doubts that are holding you back. Oh, this isn't going to work. Maybe, you know, or maybe there's someone better. Maybe there's something better. Release those. You know, I feel this isn't, there is nothing better. This is it. This is where you need to be. And like I said, I feel you're being encouraged to shine with the Six of Wands here. This is, you're being celebrated. You have victory and success coming in, my darling Capricorns. So use it, work with the energy and celebrate with those that are close to you, those in your tribe, those that are your people, my darling Capricorns. That's what I feel is happening here for you this week. Very straightforward message. I don't feel like I really need to go on too much more about that. I think, you know, it's a very straightforward message. So if you're enjoying the reading so far, please do give it a thumbs up for me. I'm very active and interactive in the comments. I would love to know if this resonates with you. And look, if you're a reader too and you've got an opinion on this, drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. You know, if you've got some other advice you want to give to Capricorns, go for it. I don't mind. All right, let's get final messages for you, my darling Capricorns. It's up to you. Yes, it is, my darling Capricorns. Whatever this is, it is going to be up to you to make it work. Improving health, yeah, I think that'll just be a byproduct of you moving away from that self-imposed restriction. Ask your angels. If you need help, my darling Capricorns, ask your angels for help. That's what they're there for. You know, ask, believe, receive. Within the next few weeks, they say, there's something better. Yes, there is, my darling Capricorns. I definitely feel there is something better coming in for you. And that something better is what you're going to celebrate here, my darling Capricorns. So if you'd like to follow this up with a personal reading, the first link in the description will take you to my website. I would definitely love to dig deeper into that Eight of Swords and find out what it is that's holding you back here, because there's definitely something when you're so surrounded by celebration energy and there's just that one card, there's something that we need to dig deeper into, and I'd love to be able to connect with you further, and dig into that and find out what that could be for you, my darling Capricorn. But beautiful energies, beautiful celebratory energy is coming in for you this week, my darling Capricorns. I love you, and I'll be back again soon.